world, I'm Tamara Jasmine, and thanks for tuning in. Do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to like, share, and comment. I want to hear your thoughts. Enjoy the show. Hey world, I'm Tamara Jasmine.
And I am DJ Nick Hud.
And you are watching the 2020 Countdown. Drinks, please.
Alright, boom, boom.
Boom.
This wonderful Crown Royal. Undress it. Nice and... It's the peach? Wonderful.
This episode is going to be dedicated to Crown Royal Peach. That means we want you guys to be a sponsor and pick up the show. Anything else you want to say to that?
I know that it goes great with sweet tea. So if you'd like, I would like for us to have this with a splash of something brown. Like some sweet tea. I promise it tastes good.
So here's the thing with
You
that.
have sweet tea?
I actually have Lipton tea, Lipton tea bags.
Oh, so we have to make it from scratch?
Yeah, that part. I don't have any sweet tea, so we have to make it.
But you know what I hear? It's great straight. It rhymes.
So
it
we're
must
gonna
be
drink
true.
it straight. Pour up. Let me see. Okay, I'm gonna see how much you're gonna pour.
Did you go to the top of the ice? Is that fine with you?
That's good.
Right there.
That's good. Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna switch hands. Ambidexterity.
I cannot with you today.
I don't want the logo to move.
No. Dope. Hey, toast to a great show.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh,
like it.
man.
All right, so let's get into it. So we're talking about January 2020. The first thing we're gonna start off with is New Year's resolution. I like to call it New Year's lies. So this is a part where we tell ourselves like, we're gonna quit our job, we're gonna get a raise, we're gonna lose weight. Everybody goes to the gym. I'm saying like January 15th, like they're not in the gym anymore.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's true too. I'm thinking about those that kind of hold on to it for just a little long, like all the way at least till Ash Wednesday.
Yeah.
And then
That part.
Yeah. 1 month.
Yeah.
Valentine's Day.
What was your New Year's resolution?
To stay well and healthy because we got hit in December.
Yes, we did get hit in December. So anyway, the beginning of January is always kumbaya. We're happy we lived to see another year. This was the beginning of a new decade.
True.
So it was just wonderful. Like, what could go wrong?
Everything.
Stay tuned. There's a lot of shit that happened, but that's later on in the month. So right now, we're gonna start off with the Australian
wildfires?
Yes.
Yes, the Australian wildfires were extra crazy. They burned 47 million acres.
That's a lot.
Yeah. And I heard there was like 306 billion tons of carbon into the air from that wildfire.
Oh my God, I was reported that at least 37 people were killed.
Ooh. And like 60,000 koala bears. I don't understand how, something, but I heard it's seasonal, but I don't understand how they don't have it under control.
I don't know, but that was interesting. That was a lot. That was a big hit. There was 1,000 people at least that were like misplaced when this whole fire thing happened. So unfortunately, we started off with the wildflower. Did I say wildflower?
Wildflowers?
Wildfires. Okay.
We need the flowers though.
Yeah, we do. Something happened on January the 9th.
Please don't tell me.
Yeah.
Please don't tell me.
I have to tell you. So, on January the 9th, it was reported a thing that we like to call the coronavirus. They said that it was emerged in Wuhan, China. And so far, how many people have been affected?
I think it's like 15 million.
Yeah, over 15 million.
And 285,000
at least deaths that have happened like worldwide. Now, we're just in January, so we have a lot to cover, but this was the beginning of what we call the pandemic.
The pandemic era.
That will forever change lives, forever. And can you believe it? We're a part of history, so like we could tell our children that we lived in a pandemic.
It's crazy because you learn about pandemics like in school and you're like, oh, that'll never happen to us. We're so ahead of time in medicine, and then boom.
But you know what? Like every 100 years, they said something like this happens.
That is true.
So it was on time.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. So we started off with that, but still in January, we really didn't know what was going on because the president said it was something that we shouldn't really worry about.
That's true. I don't know what made him say such outrageous things early, but he did have a lot of confidence in the office. I don't think he had quite the right information at the time. Because I was watching the news on BBC America, and they said China shut down.
Right.
They were putting welding on the doors of people in Wuhan to stay in their house.
Right.
In order to get it under control. But over here,
yeah,
we didn't even want to put a mask on.
Didn't want to put a mask on. All of the traveling was shut down. It was a travel ban. It really hit Europe like really, really bad. It was at a point where it was reported like 4,000 people had been affected in like one day, like cases reported. So it got really, really bad. However, let me breathe. This next news that I'm about to say hit the world like a ton of bricks.
Oh, another one.
January 26th.
Don't tell me it's Kobe.
It's Kobe.
Oh, not Gigi. That broke my heart so much. I cried I held my daughter and cried just because I knew that's what he was doing on the helicopter.
So the worst news ever, a legend, one of the best basketball players to ever do it. It was a total of 9 people that died in a helicopter crash in California. And it just left us like speechless.
Man.
You know?
I just knowing how Kobe is and how under pressure he commands situations, I could just imagine him keeping everybody calm and just being like, hey, we're gonna make it through. Even though he probably knew it was the end. He just knew that he needed everybody to be calm, collected on the way out. But man, I miss him. I still miss him. We love you, Kobe. We love you, Gigi.
We love you. Rest in peace. Still, prayers go out to all of the families that were affected by this horrible tragedy. And unfortunately, that's the way that we have to end January. I mean, it started off interesting.
It did. It started off with us making these resolutions and watching things just crumble.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if you had a workout resolution, you probably look to Kobe for the Mamba mentality inspiration.
Yeah, you
and
did.
He gets taken away.
And then he gets taken.
You want to go to the gym, Corona takes that away. You know?
Gym shut down. That's to come, because we hadn't reached the shutdown yet.
Yeah, I guess people were still going in January, right?
People were still going in January.
That's true.
Yeah. Schools were still in session.
Yeah.
Well, actually, let me take that back. Schools stopped spring break.
Spring break? Well, then, I mean, yeah, they did.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened between that gap of spring break and after winter break, because winter break you kind of come back in from New Year's. And
that's true. So you know what?
They might have gone to class.
No, they did go to class. It
Yeah.
really didn't hit like right then and there. So stay tuned. We're reporting January right now. Life is still normal, so we think.
So we think. Now February.
Let's juice it up a little bit.
You want to juice it up, or you want to?
February 5th. Is it one of those moments?
I don't feel like anything good happened in February.
Really?
Isn't it supposed to be the date of love? February is supposed to be like the time to love and be one, and instead we have to go down the path of dark.
Trump was acquitted.
He should have got taken out.
I
shouldn't say it that way. I shouldn't say it that way.
You better clarify. You won't even be able to
taken
travel.
out of
You
office.
have to watch what you say.
Of office. He should have been taken out of office, not taken out completely.
Yeah, you definitely clarify that.
Yes.
I knew that there was going to be an acquittal, though.
Yeah, I figured he ran the whole house. He runs it all. He pretty much put everybody in position that he needed to put in position. He might play chess very well. In a stupid way, but he does
plays
it
chess, and you have to, it's just what it is. The movie Parasite took all of the Oscars home.
Yeah, the first foreign film to take the Best Picture.
Best Picture, which has never happened. Yeah. So that was interesting. Then there was this whole Harvey Weinstein thing.
You see what I mean? Like, instead of leaning towards love, it's like he was out here doing sexual misconduct
allegations. And he's in jail.
Yeah, but still.
Which kept the Me Too movement going on. What do you think about that? Real quickly.
I liked it when black women were running it. And that's all I have to say about it.
Ooh, controversial.
Mm-hmm. You should see. I mean, I saw a comedian say this. This is what he said white women did. They stuck their long, skinny white legs with the stiletto over the movement of black women and oppression and black men being killed by police, and stepped to the front of the line and made it about a bunch of pointing fingers instead of like actual, y'all deserve better pay, y'all deserve, equal opportunity. All these things that make sense to most commoners, they stepped in front and made it about something completely Harvey Weinstein-ish.
Well, here's the thing, and I have to be very honest. Do you think that the Me Too movement would have been as successful as it has been if other nationalities weren't involved? Because let me be honest, a black woman, society says, well, what society has shown is that we're at the bottom of the totem pole. So a black woman getting sexually harassed, you know what I'm saying, or raped, that's not a big deal, you know what I'm saying, to America, you know. America does see that. So it wasn't until other nationalities got involved in order to get the spotlight on everybody's issues,
that's
you
true.
know.
The only side part to that is when you deal with someone who has sat at the table of these laws being created that have things where people can get away with such activity. They feel as if these other issues that don't lean in any direction, they're like, no, we want to make it focus about women. I was watching this great episode of Blackish about this, and they actually had to make their own women of color version because the movements and the disparities between just white women and black women was just as crazy as between women and men in general. And they didn't want to fight those issues. They were picking issues that were like, this guy, he made me do this to get the film role. This guy, these are the headlines. Like, they're not, instead of it being about getting your pay up, about getting treated correctly without, or even being able to make your own decisions. They just skipped over that. They just made it solely about being sexually abused or sexually harassed. They never really dove into the other disparities. And that's what I feel. Same way with the defund the police, the way that looks.
You're jumping ahead.
I'm sorry.
It's in the months to come, people. It's in the months to come.
I just want to get into it.
I know. But we're just in February, man. We're just in February.
Woosah. I'm back.
Woosah.
I'm back in February.
B. Smith.
Oh, man.
Yeah, she passed away. Oh my God, I love B. Smith. Author, restaurant owner, model. She was an amazing woman. Just an example of Black excellence all the way around. So she unfortunately passed in the month of February. Some of the months leading to that was very controversial because her husband at the time. Did you hear about this?
I heard about it.
So what are your thoughts?
His mistress?
Well, I don't know if she, I guess she would be the mistress if the wife is still alive.
She was still alive with Alzheimer's, right?
She had Alzheimer's. Oh, you do know
a little something. Yeah, I do know a little something.
Sip to that.
But good idea. Thank you, Crown. For jogging my memory.
That part.
But yes, I don't really like when people do things that aren't with love intended. You know, that didn't seem like love was at the forefront, and his actions were very selfish. And I guess in the mind of what's the word they say about men? Toxic masculinity, maybe would be the word to use for this. He must feel like, oh, she can't remember, so I'll just go with this person. I think that's the way he has to think on a very elementary level. You can't.
It was an interesting situation because they're no longer together. The woman ended up leaving him shortly after B passed away. My thoughts on this, and I'm just gonna speak from my personal opinion. If for some reason I got really sick and my husband is in it till the end, don't bring another woman into our home. Do not bring another woman into our home. I do understand that a man has needs and there's some things that's going to come up, but I feel like have enough respect for me to not do that to me. Because if I was in my right mind frame, hell no, you better not bring no woman to my house. It's gonna be a problem.
I wouldn't even attempt. I feel like my woman would kill me before I could even. She'd be like, I remember.
Yeah, we're we're not gonna do that.
I'm
Moving
not in that zone at all.
that part. Moving on. Unfortunately, there was the murder of Pop Smoke that happened in California. He was staying at an Airbnb, and 4 masked men came in and murdered him. I feel very differently about that. So one of my favorite quotes by Tupac is, "They say it's the white men I should fear, but it's my own kind doing all the killing here."
Yeah. And that's exactly the case with Pop Smoke. Like Jay-Z said, too much enemy fire to catch a friendly.
See, that's my thing, and I'm gonna say this, and what I'm about to say is not the most popular Black answer, but I feel like there's always an elephant in the room when we talk about this, but we're gonna talk about it. I understand that people get out and they march for police brutality. Hey, one too many, which is one too many. Yeah. It's being murdered. It's unjustified by the hands of police officers, and they're usually white men. However, we have to address the elephant in the room. We have to address the fact that we are killing our own in huge numbers, and that is a problem. So my thing is, if you're gonna put that energy into these marches, protests, whatever, for the unjust killings of Black people due to the hands of police, then you have to also do protests and walks for the unjust murders that are by the hands of our own people. It's ridiculous. We can't expect other races to respect us and not kill us when we don't respect ourselves. We kill each other. So that is an issue that we're gonna have to fix, and that's just what it is. And I understand there are gonna be some people that have some things to say about what I said. I don't care. I said what I said, and we're just gonna have to do better.
That's agreed, though. I agree with everything you just said.
Yeah.
I don't see why we can't just, again, lead with love. February is the month of love and Black history, and yet we have so many Black people dying. So much done without love in the forefront, and I have no idea why.
Yeah.
Like, Pop Smoke was this generation's 50 Cent, in my opinion.
And you know what he was?
Just the 9 bullets, he didn't survive.
His voice. I'm gonna tell you something. There are not a lot of voices that it just does something to you. Pac had that. Biggie had that. Yeah. Of course, 50 has that. Pop Smoke had that. You could feel it. Like Future. It's just something in their voice where you could just kind of like feel the pain. So, rest in peace, Pop Smoke. We love you, Pop. And hey, that's our February.
I still play it everywhere. Yeah. Everybody still loves it. I say we drink to Pop Smoke because he would like for us to do this. To you, Pop Smoke.
To you. Since this whole year have started, I've drank more than I've ever in my whole life.
Yeah? I bet you. No, actually I did the opposite. I mean, I'm a DJ, so I drink everywhere. Yeah. But now I have nowhere to be. I've been watering it up. It's been good.
Yeah, I've been on it. Okay, so welcome to March, and the Cora, as I like to call it, has gotten real.
Yes, indeed.
So I know for sure that I was like sick back in February. Yeah. We all were sick.
We were all sick.
We passed it amongst each other in our clique.
We were super spreaders.
Right, but I tested negative for the flu, and they were like, "Oh, you have an upper respiratory infection." It started with a sore throat. I'm talking about throat killing me. Then I had this worrisome cough. It was so bad, I was taking like 2 teaspoons of codeine a night.
What?
I had to go to sleep. I could not, that's the only thing that worked that kept me from coughing. It got really, really real. But they didn't know what it was, but I know that's what it was because I was sick for like 10 days. I'm gonna tell you what healed me though.
What was that?
A friend of mine, Sylvia, came by with a care package, and because I had already did the antibiotics, which didn't work, and she brought a ginger root, and she chopped it up, and she put a gang of vitamin C in there, honey, peppermint, cough drops. I feel like I'm missing
like
something. Oh, lemon. She cut up lemon. It was a witch's brew. And I drank that. She's like, drink 3 cups of it. So I drank that night as hot as I could stand it. And then from that point on, for like the next 72 hours, I was drinking like 2-3 glasses a day. And in 3 days, I felt fine after being sick for 10. Like 10.
Woo!
So,
I didn't have that experience.
What was your experience?
Mine, I was so sick, I couldn't even take a pill down. My throat was closing up.
Oh, yeah.
And so I ended up just staying awake for like 3 days because I couldn't breathe in my sleep.
Yeah.
So I stayed awake for like 3 days, and then by the time I got some Theraflu, I made it an apple cider Theraflu. And then I poured a little bit of Remy 1738 in it, and I drank that, and I went to sleep and woke up a new man. Literally.
You know what?
I sweated it out. It was amazing when I woke up the next morning.
Tonic and gin?
Yeah.
Tonic water and gin help. I mean, here's the thing: people can say what they want, but a lot of homeless people or alcoholics have not really been.
That's true.
When you think about it.
What do they know?
Alcohol.
Yeah. I once saw a bum fall and not drop 1 ounce of the liquor. I know that's a random story, but it really happened. I was getting cash at a Bank of America. He fell and rolled across the street, but the drink never stayed from its position of pointing north. I don't know how he did it. He switched hands mid-roll. I don't know. He was so skilled. But then when I spoke to him, I could tell he was completely drunk. I said, "Are you okay?" I was like, "All right."
Stop.
Sound like my daughter Nia.
Moving on. Okay. So unfortunately, this is when.
Oh my gosh! On my birthday, March 13th.
Breonna Taylor.
Yeah. On my birthday, I remember seeing it happen on Instagram. It blew up all over my timeline, and I said, "They killed someone on my birthday, and it's a black woman, and didn't knock, just busted in."
It was a no-knock warrant, and the unfortunate thing is miscommunication. That's why I said we're talking about arrest of officers, but it gets way deeper and it's way higher up because the person they were looking for actually turned himself in. Earlier that day, so there was somewhere
no need to even come to the house.
No need to come to the house. Then here's the thing: for anyone that has a gun at home, if you hear someone rattling at your door trying to break in, it's in your nature to defend your household. So you're going to shoot. You don't know that the police is outside. So her boyfriend shot in self-defense because he's thinking, I'm laying next to my girl in bed. I have to defend the home front.
Which any sane man would do.
Any sane man would do. Our sane woman. What do you mean?
Too. Yeah, true.
Yeah. And unfortunately, Breonna Taylor was shot multiple times and killed in the bed. He was taken to jail.
And not the police.
Yeah, and not the police.
Not the real murderers.
No, and I still don't think that they've been charged.
No.
They still haven't been
They've
charged.
given Breonna everything in her name, a street, money, the name of the no-knock warrant thing that they've come up with, the Breonna Taylor law.
Yeah.
But no arrest of these officers. What's going on, America?
But you know what? Here's something else that's very controversial that I'm about to say. How much is a white life worth versus a black life? Because
I pondered the same question.
There's always these lawsuits where they get paid millions of dollars, but the officers never go to jail. So here's the thing. You're saying that somehow something went wrong enough to the point where you're going to pay my family out millions. However, the person that did what you obviously think is wrong, because you're paying me, you're not going to pay if you think everything's right.
Come on now.
But you pay me, which means something is wrong, but you'll rather spend out millions of the city's budget money
it doesn't even come out of the Fraternal Order of Police money. It comes out of the city's money. So the police aren't even paying.
No.
Like, they're not saying, I'm sorry with the money. Yeah. The city's trying to say, hey, here's some money. Just go away.
So it just goes to show you, I mean, we'll touch on this later on in the months, but I mean, you know, unfortunately, the thing that happened in Minnesota, which we'll touch on later on down the line, I mean, it got to the point where it was rioting and millions were lost and damaged before the officers became arrested. So again, let that sink on your mind. Moving on. Okay, so something great that came out of the month of March is...
What would that be? Because if I was a student, it'd be I didn't go back to school.
No. Verzuz.
Oh yeah! I forgot for like 2 seconds.
You
Shout out
did.
to Swizzy, shout out to Timberlands. Verzuz has been amazing.
Oh my God.
that
Tell the
ver-
people what it is.
Okay, Verzuz. It's basically a celebration of the culture of hip hop. A lot of people take it too literal and think like it's actually I'm versus you, like Street
Right.
Fighter, Mortal Kombat. But it's literally put your catalog up, show the world that you have amazing music. Not the same thing that the radio is playing. I would,
Right.
if it was me, I wouldn't do that.
Right.
I'd play the songs that my artists, like the
Right.
fans love.
Yeah.
People who are like, ooh, thank you.
Yeah.
And a lot of times that's what happens. Shout out to Timberland and Swizz.
Yes.
Because
it's
the very
dope,
first
man.
one was amazing. Even the year before, side note, because they did do one the year before with Just Blaze and Swizzy, and it was like a DJ battle, and Swizzy destroyed Just Blaze. Sorry, Just Blaze. I still wear my Rock Nation hat. Love you, Just. You made lots of songs for Jay-Z, but you got destroyed by Swizzy, and that led to this wonderful
Yeah.
thing called Verzuz, and I love it.
Yeah. Oh, who broke the record? It was
Beanie Man and Buju. That's later. That's later. That was
later,
May.
but yeah.
We're in March.
But you know what? This is where I have to really thank Timberland and Swizz, because at this point in March, stuff was starting to get really real. People were starting to get very sick and die. This is when the country, actually March is the beginning of the shutdown.
Everything
And-
shut down. March 16th-ish.
Yeah.
That weekend.
And so you're at home, you're going through all this mental health stuff, and you get the Verzuz, and it really gave the people something to look for. And it goes back to the importance of music.
Oh my
Music
gosh.
heals the soul.
You would
Yeah.
just think that everyone would feel that same way.
Well, they
Mark Zuckerberg.
should. Uh-oh.
Well, that's later in the month.
Later in the months, but needless to say, and it was a party in everybody's household
Oh
because
my
you couldn't
gosh.
go anywhere. So what happens? You would round up the people that live in the household, get some cocktails going, sit in front of the TV and watch Verzuz.
Yeah.
So
And comment.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It was
And
amazing in
comment.
the beginning when you comment
Yeah.
and you see somebody. I remember I said, well, this is later in the month, but Beanie, I
Uh-huh.
said somebody's belly and Rihanna laughed. And I knew she was laughing at it because she
What?
hashtagged it Beanie Belly, and that's what I put up.
whoa.
Nobody had said anything before at that moment. I
Yeah.
was like, damn, Beanie been eating her.
Yeah.
I said the yams getting to him, and she
Yeah.
laughed so hard. She said I can't and put hashtag Beanie Belly, and that's all I kept doing on every
Yeah.
single one.
And you know, if I
Shout
could
out
just
to
say
Beanie Man.
something, I do want you guys to do it so you can see like regular everyday people comments. I know it's important to see the stars comments and we all like to see what they say, but I think also the essence of it, because it's the people that get the numbers, because we tune in, you should be able to allow those comments to be shown. You know, it just means something to the people. So just, hey, I can't tell you
That was
how
in
to
the
run
beginning
show.
though. I think right
Yeah.
after the Beanie one is when
Yeah.
they changed the comment game up.
But either way, I mean, I love it. I think what you guys did is dope. So
Thanks again, Susie and
thank
Timbo.
you again.
Bringing love to March
Tomorrow.
when everything got shut down. And
Yeah.
D Nice. D Nice did quarantine
let's
radio.
Talk about it.
Yeah, shout
Yes.
out DJ D Nice.
He broke the record.
Broke the record.
Yeah.
He had Michelle Obama in the chat.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I was in the. You can chat with. Oh my gosh, that was when everything was great.
It was a moment.
It was D
It was
Nice.
a
He
moment.
played nothing but the funkiest of tunes that just had
Yeah.
love at its core.
Mhm.
Michelle Obama was in there putting all the dance emojis, telling everybody to
Yeah.
get down, having a great
It
time.
was really.
Shout out to
really
Quarantine
good.
Radio. That was very good.
Oh, Quarantine Radio.
I started them too with
Tory
Tory
Lanez.
Lanez.
Yeah.
We
Tory.
liked them then, didn't we?
We'll talk about you later, but you did start Quarantine Radio.
You did something great, and then
Well, we'll talk about it. Oh, shout out to all of the Kenny Rogers fans. Rest in peace. I was a fan. Some of you, I know everybody remembers the song. You know, The Gambler. You gotta know when to hold on, know when to fold on. Hey, we were all like
That's right there.
Yeah.
Let's drink to that. I
Let's
think that was a
drink
good
to that.
moment. Cheers.
Cheers. Okay. Oh, also, James Lipton passed away, and you may know him from Inside of the Actors Studio. Amazing man. He did some really, really good interviews with some amazing actors. So there's never been anything like him, and I don't think that anybody can follow that. You're just gonna have to create your own lane. But I really hope that we get someone else, maybe someone like me, to tell those stories.
Yeah.
So
I
that's
second
the month.
that.
Second that motion. That's March.
That's March for you. Now for April.
April Fools. Flip this card.
Well, mine is already on April.
Oh, is it already on?
That's why I was like, them kids. I was like, oh, they went on spring break. My bad. They didn't go back in April. Are you ready?
Ready.
What's your first thing on April?
Kids go.
Are you doing the kids
yeah.
too with me? All
yeah.
Right, cool.
So, okay, so April starts, and this is where the parents start to lose their mind. So, the kids go on spring break, and usually the parents take off, and they're like, okay, we're going on vacation. Usually everyone goes to Disney World.
Well, not this year.
Not this year. The kids went on spring break only to never return back to school.
Never coming back to school. I know that when we were in school, shout out to everybody who graduated in the early 2000s and the 90s, we would have been like, yes!
Oh yeah, right up our
I ain't
alley.
going back to school. I'm about to kick up my friends. We're going to play basketball in the street. These kids couldn't do anything because there was no social gatherings.
No social gatherings.
So this was the blow up of Zoom. And, you know,
so by
social distance learning.
Social distance learning, which has drove me crazy because I have a kid at the house and it has worked my nerves. I feel like I need to go back to school and take a damn class. I need to get tutored. I mean, what are we talking about here? But
they changed math. I just want you to know that. Math is completely different. I have no idea.
I have no idea what's going on.
I'm homeschooling Nia because of that.
Yeah, it's really different. But I will say this: these kids have learned technology. Like they are doing full Zoom meetings. Like I look at my nephew, and I mean, I'm like, I just learned about Zoom like a couple years ago.
He's on there like, I gotta put in my login.
Yeah. I'm like, dang. So yeah, sorry for the parents. Also, April was the beginning of the jobs. People.
Oh yeah, is this STEMI time?
Well, you know, over 40 million people have lost. Yeah, it is STEMI time, but over 40 million people end up losing jobs due to the coronavirus. So a lot of people lost work, and then a lot of people got sent home from work because the jobs had to shut down. And on top of the job shutting down, they had to be home because who's going to watch the kids now that they're
not in school?
Never return to school. Let me not say never return to school.
I feel like this is the point where it has to change. You know, the teachers were already having too many kids in the classroom.
Yeah.
You know, it was already at the edge of like the gift and the curse. Like my great grandma used to say, everything happens for a wise and just purpose. Mm-hmm. So with this, teachers are now, I thought of this great idea. I won't even share it. I'm just going to keep the idea. Mm-hmm. Delete that idea because I don't want nobody to have that.
Delete all that.
but for real, they could have come up and teamed up and went and done homeschooling in their own bubbly environments as teams of 3 or 4 and not had to, you know, do this weird way of like, they couldn't even buy supplies. You know that? They weren't even supposed to have gloves, sanitizer, alcohol, anything that dealt with cleaning. Teachers weren't supposed to bring it on campus.
Check this out though. Hold on, how could I forget? In the month of April, everybody went crazy.
Oh
the whole world was out of toilet tissue. Like, what is it about toilet tissue? There was no toilet tissue. You couldn't get hand sanitizer. And
paper
what else?
towels.
You couldn't get paper towels.
Napkins.
And disinfectant spray. You can just forget that. So yeah, and this is my thing. What good is the toilet tissue if you have a weakened immune system, okay? Corona can't live in a strong immune system. All the vitamins were on the shelf, but the toilet tissue's gone.
I know, I said the same thing.
Like,
I grabbed my omega-3, my D3, the Centrum, the zinc.
Vitamin C,
Come
D,
on now. I had my, what's it called, emergency. I grabbed that. I said, just in case.
Black seed oil.
Oh, I got some of that.
Oil of oregano.
And what about your sea moss? You got that?
I drink it in my coffee every morning.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah. So, yeah, there was a major loss on stuff. And then, hey, April 15th, guess what came? Money, 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 money.
Cue up the song.
Money. Yeah.
It was only $1,200 though.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't like they stiffened the pockets. I saw Canada get $2,000 a month since this happened. And we got a $1,200 and a bunch of people doing fraud. I mean, a bunch of people planning for pandemic relief online on Arkansas
You're going
workforce.
to jail today.
All of them people was doing fraud. They had to.
Yeah. And you know what? Also, what happened with that is the COVID relief fund, the PPP started. Yeah, a lot of people did go to jail.
Yeah, a lot of people did.
And then for good reasons, a lot of people were able to keep the doors of their business open, which was a blessing. So that was a good thing that happened.
I wish a few other places got to stay open, but you know, maybe they'll come back as a new type of flower.
Yeah, unfortunately,
from concrete.
Even with some of those relief funds, it just was not enough. So.
And then I didn't like the Reaganomics of it all, where they kind of trickled the money down.
Did you say
Reaganomics? Yeah, because that's what this Trump thing is. They gave the money to the people in power and then said, hey, pay your employees, and they could choose how much to pay. You know what I mean? They could have just paid our bills.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And then we're still here. But fun stuff. So what happened during this time when we're at home bored and it's just us and we're looking at the kids and the kids is looking at us and you're looking at your husband and your husband is looking at you? We started coming out with challenges.
Oh my god.
Dance challenges.
Like the Don't Rush challenge.
Don't rush.
I wasn't in it. I actually DJ'd
I did it. And make sure you put a video clip up of me and my Don't Rush challenge, because I'm proud of it.
It was very good.
Like I practiced. Could you tell?
I could tell.
Yeah.
You had to. Y'all had that little.
I did this thing where I did that's my move. It's just that's my thing. Yeah.
I feel that. I think it might be time for another drink.
It might be time to pour a cheers to that.
Let's have this.
They're gonna be like, they were drunk before they even got to November.
No. Oh my gosh, it isn't November, is it?
No, we're still in this. Oh yeah, guess who comes home early? Well, he didn't get early release.
Not a rat.
So, Tekashi 6ix9ine, due to the coronavirus, was able to be released from prison early. Well, he was on house arrest, so not really released, but served the rest of his time from home.
Yeah, and he failed at that, I think, a few times, because he went viral like 3 times going live, and he had to switch spots.
Had to switch spots and things like that.
Random fans spotting him at the gas station and places. He just wanted to be seen.
I think that he just wanted to be seen. I'm going to be honest. I think what bothers him the most, more like people calling him a rat, I don't think that bothers him. I think what bothers him is the fact that he can't just be out, and you know what I'm saying?
His troll game has come down.
And I think that's what bothers him. But in this time, he's broke a lot of records, like streaming wise, when that album dropped.
Yeah, the album, the one day it streamed, it did hella numbers, and then it just died out of nowhere.
It died out of nowhere, but hell, I guess he collected his check. Then he did the was it Instagram Live or YouTube, whatever it was.
Live.
So
Instagram
that
Live.
Broke records for
that
like
broke
the most
whatever quarantine radio and Verzuz was doing. Tekashi took that and multiplied it by 3 in just his one staying home moment of trolling behavior.
Yeah.
I don't really condone the trolling behavior, if you can't tell. It doesn't fit with me well. I don't follow him. I was not one of the viewers that viewed his song or anything like that.
I didn't either.
Yeah. I wouldn't have played it in the club either. Sorry. Not sorry.
Well. Well, you know, according to my notes, that was the month of April. So we're rolling on to
May.
What happens is April showers. What is May?
They bring May flowers.
Bring May flowers. Well, we didn't really get that many flowers.
Not really.
So we're gonna start it off. Unfortunately, the untimely death of George Floyd. So what the world witnessed was a police officer who put his knee on this man's neck for over 8 minutes. The world stopped and we watched this man take his last breath. And I'm gonna tell you what got me all choked up.
I know what got
when that man yelled out for his mama. And the thing about it, the officer that had his knee on his neck, it was almost like this this evil, satanic, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, look that was on his, it was like he was getting gratification by putting his knee on his neck, and he kept saying, I can't breathe. And then what pissed me off is one of the officers made the comment, somebody that was one of the onlookers, and they couldn't do anything, and they said he can't breathe, and then he made the awful remark, you shouldn't use drugs. Remember that?
Yeah.
What does that have to do with it?
And then the comments I read from people not of color saying if he can speak, he can breathe. And then them doing the George Floyd challenge. Did you see that? The random white boys are leaning on the white boy's neck saying, look, I can breathe.
I saw
but
that.
he clearly screamed out to his dying mom. She's not of this plane. And he said, please help me. And luckily, one of his good friends is a great NBA player of Steven Jackson. And Stack, as we call him, he went out there and he represented big time for George Floyd.
He did.
When they tried to mark him as this, that, the other, he came out and said, no, this was a man who was getting his life right. A man who was really on the right path.
He humanized him.
Yeah. And to see how the world reacted and the uproar, I felt the love is what I felt. I felt like the world said, hey, police, we don't really like y'all and we love this black man more than we have anything to do with your laws and Babylonian ways. The Jamaican in me, my bad. You know, that's how we call it.
Yeah. It happens.
Babylon.
It happens. I actually traveled down there to cover that. Don't ask me how I finagled my way with the press, but I was there with all of the major TV outlets reporting for Jasmine Soiree. But it was sad, and things like this have been happening for a long time. What happened due to the death was a lot of rioting.
A lot of rioting.
It was a lot of rioting.
A lot of protesting.
A lot of protesting.
A lot of energy being stirred around the world. I was watching France go in an uproar, UK, Italy, places like
Amish people.
Man, did you see Amish people protesting?
That said a lot. They don't even acknowledge the world outside of their community. And when I saw the Amish people were protesting, I was like, this has gotten real.
This has gotten beyond real. And at that point, you would expect the U.S. to start to think about those two letters, us. And instead, it was a long, dreary process.
It was a long, dreary process. And this is my issue. This thing has been going on for a very long time. The only difference is it's being caught on camera. So it's not like all of a sudden black people are coming up dead from the hands of officers. You're just getting it recorded now.
And
you know
it's not just getting recorded like this guy on this year and then a year ago another guy. It's like every month there's somebody being killed by police and they are black. And it's mostly black men getting killed. And it's sad that when you see another black man, and like I know I've been going around just telling people, hey King, stay alive, because it feels like everything wants to kill us. Yeah. Especially the police.
I feel like, God, this gets really, really deep. It gets deep. It gets into the whole defund the police. And here's the thing. When you have to dig and get an understanding of what that is, when people say defund the police, people aren't saying we're going to cut the budgets and the police officers are not going to get paid anymore. They're not going to protect your neighbor. Because I had people saying, well, I want to be protected. Listen, we're not saying we don't need police. We do need police, you know. But what we are saying is that sometimes their budget, they're overfunded.
Oh my God.
Take some of those funds and use them towards the community.
Not to mention the untouchable fraternal order of the police. I have no idea why they are untouchable. I don't know why that they can stay so glued together. And I do remember though, when I graduated high school, I had these subs in my car. I ain't gonna lie, I was bumping, but I was bumping some graduation music. Right. And the police of North Little Rock came up to me and said, oh, you must think you're one of them gang members. We're the biggest gang in the city. Don't F with us. And slapped a ticket on my car as I was leaving my graduation. It told me enough then. Fast forward, I was 21. So 18, 21, I bought a BMW running track in Fayetteville. And I DJ'd my very first time at Biggs for my uncle. He was the DJ at the time. He said, Nick, take over for me. I said, yeah. Got in there, did a great job. And then I said, oh man, some of my friends had to go back to the Air Force Base. I dropped them off at the Air Force Base. I come back, but this freeway is being worked on, and I wrecked on 107. I woke up to being arrested and made a felon because they said if I can afford that BMW at 21, I can afford this ticket at 21. That told me again what the police were on. And then I had every single dean write a beautiful letter to the judge about my character, who I am, what I represent, only for him to throw it away and say, you're a felon. So I knew from that point forward, they weren't out there for us. The system is made for us to be at the bottom. And when I did my community service, it was, I want to say, if it was 100 people, it was 99 black people, 1 white man doing free work. We built an entire golf course in Southwest. It's free labor.
What do you think it is about the black man that causes people to be frightened?
I think media has a big thing to play with it. They love to spin something and make us look extremely villainous. Then on top of that, once you add that fear involved, it's over. Once you put fear into somebody, that's the new god of them. So as soon as they see something that they know fears them.
Because so many times you see these situations with the police officer, and to me, it's something that could have been avoided, but you see him walking to the car and his hand is already right there on the gun.
Many a time I've already seen.
And it's like, here's the thing that's interesting to me. Black man, unarmed, police officer in uniform, armed, but yet you can see the nervousness of them and the officer, and it's just like the next reaction is just to shoot.
Shoot him because he might shoot me for what we did to George, what we did to Breonna, what we did to Philando Castile, what we did to... I mean, the names can go along forever and ever and ever.
Philando Castile, just quickly on that, if you remember the video, when that man walked to his car, he already, situation that I just said, he already had his hand on his gun, and he was so nervous for no reason. And the gentleman in the car, he was sitting there with his fiance and the child in the back. He was so calm, he was so respectful, but even in that moment, the nervousness caused him to shoot him.
With his kid in the back
With his kid in the back seat. So like I said, there is something that has happened that has caused this fear of black men to the point, even when you have the advantage, the weapon, you still feel the need that you have to shoot. But that's just another conversation in itself.
Even at the riots, or maybe you should say the protests, I witnessed a different group of police officers. They were brought in, shout out to our governor, but he brought in people from not our police, that our police had to go and keep away from the people. I have friends that are officers, and they told me, yo, they were throwing fake dummy bombs that was gasoline in like water bottles and throwing them over at the police, making it seem like the crowd was throwing it. And luckily, the people I know, they are amongst the people so much they know everybody that was there.
But you know what?
And they're like, you wouldn't do that.
That's something else. And let's talk about that. I know rioting came later. We're still in the month before, but a lot of these fires and things like that was done, that wasn't even done by black people.
Nope.
That were done by people of other races that came in to start confusion and take the eyes off of the actual movement.
And did a great job of that.
Right. So you had a lot of that going on. And then also we forgot to mention in earlier months, Ahmaud Arbery. Okay, so 2020 has taken us for a loop. So let's talk about this. This man is jogging, and what he did was something that we all done. I've done it. I recently purchased a home, and I'm not going to tell you how many times I've stopped and seen a vacant home being built, and I've gone and peeped in the window. We've all done it, but this man was jogging. He was minding his business. He was in his neighborhood jogging, and what I saw was a modern-day lynching. They chased him down like prey, like deer hunting or something. And I mean,
man, I'm just remembering the video. That was so sad.
Shot him down like a dog. Like bragged about it, on their Facebook chat group, and the other gentleman videotaped it and they shared the video. And I want to say something. when I saw that, that brought me back to back in the day when you would see black people hanging from a tree and white people would be around taking pictures right behind a church on Sunday. Again, I'm gonna say it again. Church in the background, you can see the cross, but yet there is a black person hanging with a noose around their neck.
Yeah.
So anyhow, when I saw that they had passed the video of his shooting around in a group, it was just modern day of what that was. You know what I'm saying? And in a lot of ways, there are a lot of people that wish it could go back to that. Hunting a black person. You know what I'm saying? Hunting a black person. So
as being a black man in America, I promise you, it makes you even more post-traumatically stressed to just leave the house. And you can't even leave it for COVID reasons. So imagine being a black man and knowing, like, when you leave, there goes a police officer. We DJ'd. Matter of fact, I did Fit Camp. Downtown, police officers came up to us, and I had a white friend with me at the time, and he said, they're not going to bother with us. And I was like, you don't know, do you? I knew at that moment that there's a big distinct difference between how they're raised, how we're raised. Yeah. And we stood there in tough man stance. Me and my friends that were doing Fit Camp, and the police officer walked up to us in like docile look, like hands kind of hold together like this, like making sure that they didn't look like they were up to something. And we looking like, we're strong enough to, if it's gonna go down, it's gonna go down. And sure enough, they came over there and they said, hey, we just don't want somebody to do a false claim on what you guys are doing today, because it's been happening a lot, and a lot of situations are happening due to misinformation. So after we had that conversation, they actually kept us safe the whole time there. And those were some really good officers. They weren't even black. I think one guy, he might have been mixed of some kind, but yeah, 2 white guys came over there and they kind of made sure we were straight and kept the other officers from coming around circling us the whole time, because it was like 5 cars that kept coming. And then they stayed around to make sure that they wouldn't do that.
I'm gonna tell you something else that we forgot to mention. Central Park Karen. So this was a situation where Central Park, a man is bird watching, and the rules are written on a sign, and it says keep your dog on a collar. And so there was a man, African American, and he came up to the woman, very non-threatening, and he said, hey, could you put a leash on your dog? She totally freaked out. She called the police, and this is something, and I can't get past that. And don't say you didn't mean it. When you call the police on a black person for no reason whatsoever, what you meant was harm. She got herself all worked out, and then the dog, Peter ended up taking the dog. They returned it to her because she's choking the dog at this point. She done psyched herself up to the point where I guess she really thought he was trying to attack her, saying that there is a black man and he's trying to attack me and all that. That's the fear I talk about. That's the fear, but here's the thing, it was nothing to be feared because he was respectful. Luckily for him, he recorded the whole situation. Now let me tell you what might have happened if that man had recorded.
You don't even have to tell him, because they've seen it enough. They've seen it with Philando, they've seen it with George Floyd, they've seen it with Ahmaud Arbery, they've seen it with my guy that was getting Wendy's and was sleeping in the parking lot and was happy enough to just go home, and they shot him before he could get in the car. It's like, why? Why do you have to maneuver yourself in a way? And I watch enough videos of cops where there's belligerent white people getting arrested safely with no harm to their face, no harm to their wrists, no harm to their backs, no bruises, and they're drunk. They have guns. White people with guns can get arrested safely, or they can bust at the police and the police not draw their weapon. They're just like, oh, he's just a crazy white guy. As soon as they see a black man, he could be just naked walking down the street. They just don't shoot him.
It's just like I said,
it's a fear that we don't understand.
I don't know what it is about our skin tone that causes people to. It's just a fear.
Man, honestly,
it's a fear.
That's what all of the end of May and all of June was like.
Well, speaking of that, let's flip it. In good news, Billboard history was
Shout
done.
Out to Beyonce,
my Virgo sister,
and Nicki, and Meg, the motherfucking stallion.
Yes.
Yo, they spent, I don't even know how many weeks at number one, but for all 4 women, remixes and originals to be in the top 10.
Never done before. And so I thought that was like amazing.
That was amazing.
Amazing.
And it was needed and necessary. I was betting on Doja Cat, even though they tried to throw under the bus with those white chat groups. I knew she was a talented singer and a talented artist.
She is, absolutely.
And she reminded me
I'm
a lot
fan.
of Nicki. And then when they did the remix, I said, oh my gosh, they felt like me.
Yeah.
And then I said, you know what'd be dope? If Beyonce and Meg. And then that happened.
And then that happened.
The H-Town Connect, the quirky, weird / artist connect with Nicki and Doja. It was just a perfect match.
It was
made in
dope.
heaven.
And there was a Savage challenge too.
Oh my gosh, yeah. They did that little hand clap thing.
Happening, something was
Yeah,
happening.
I just remember that
It
part.
was dope. Is that
the
what
clap,
you remember?
They would change clothes. They'd like, clink, and then have a whole new fit. I was like, ah.
It was really
Actually, that
dope.
might have been the start of like TikTok surgence too. Because all those dance challenges started on TikTok and then migrated to IG.
Yeah. And then it
then
ended up in our
TikTok
living
got banned
rooms.
in May too.
Oh yeah, TikTok, which the president was saying is
'Cause
a
they're-
Chinese.
Yeah.
I don't know what
TikTok must have had
Yeah.
COVID because he blocked it. He blocked that before he
shut
put
that-
on a mask.
Yeah, he had shut that
Tell you
down.
that.
That was crazy.
Digital COVID.
Digital COVID. We had some
more
celebrity
deaths.
deaths.
Oh.
Okay, so unfortunately, Little Richard, who I say is the king of rock and roll.
Give it to
And
him.
when I say the king, you have to understand. Chuck Berry opened up for Little Richard. James Brown opened up for Little Richard. The Rolling Stones opened up for Little Richard. The Beatles opened up for Little Richard.
And we know
So
the Beatles.
people who you consider to be music royalty, right, who are legends,
Had to
open
open
up for Little Richard. This
I
man
wish
was
I could hit
amazing.
a woo, but I can't do it.
Right.
Good. He hit that high octave woo. Oh, I love Little Richard.
So let me give you my backstory with Little Richard. I got a chance to meet him once in California.
Oh.
Yeah, I was at this CNC Soul Food. It's this soul food spot in California, and he was there in all his glory or whatever. And I was there with my aunt and my mom, and he was like sitting there, and he was always like approachable. And we were walking down, and he was saying everything, and he was like, "Hey, girl," you know, that's what he was saying to my auntie.
Oh,
and
yeah?
I was just like waving, and then another episode that happened. It was actually me and Shamika.
Oh,
So me and
snap.
Shamika, we were on Crenshaw Boulevard. We were catching the 40 bus home from school, and this black limousine pulls up.
That's back in the day when the
back in the
limos?
day, it was a limo, right? And so he pulled up and he let the window down because he was very like approachable.
Right.
And he rolled the window down, and everybody's like, "That's Little Richard," and he hit us with, "Hey, honey," like loud, like that. And we was like, "It's Little Richard, oh my God." So anyway, that's my Little Richard story. But I really wish that while he was here on earth, he would have gotten his just due because he was a talented musician. He
Big
was
time.
an amazing singer. So definitely rest in peace. So that hit us. But you know what? Stuff didn't stop hitting us.
No, because we lost
Yeah.
Betty.
Woo! Let me
Good old
tell-
Betty
Let
Wright.
me do a full circle on that. Betty Wright, whose vocal skills ridiculous. My
I love
favorite.
Betty
What's your
Wright.
favorite Betty Wright song?
Because you got white man.
Oh, that's Dorothy
Oh,
Norwood.
my bad.
That's Dorothy
My
Norwood.
bad. I thought that was Betty.
Shout out to Mother Dorothy
Oh,
Norwood. No,
Dorothy, I'm
So,
sorry. I thought Betty did it. It was
No,
such
no, no,
a
no.
soulful song. I thought Betty
Betty's
hit us with it.
no pain, no gain.
Oh, remember we did that? Oh
yeah,
my gosh,
yeah.
that song. No pain.
No pain, no gain, which is so true.
Man, we boogied
Yeah.
so hard to that.
We did. Clean Up Woman
Oh,
was
I
a
love
really good
Clean Up
one.
Woman. You know
Uh-huh.
that's the beat they used for Mary J. Yeah. So
Yeah, it
Clean Up
sure
Woman
was.
ended up being Mary J. Blige. And
It
it's
sure
remixed
did.
to one with Biggie.
Yeah, it sure was.
Real Love.
Real
So-
Love. And then she also did this song called, she's done a lot of songs, but After the Pain, but she was a vocal coach to the stars.
Big
She
time.
was an amazing writer. Betty had been performing since she was a kid. Florida's own royalty. So
Yeah,
that
big
hit
time
me.
royalty there.
Luckily though, I have a Betty story. I didn't get a chance to meet her, but I got a chance to see her a year before she passed. She did a concert in Dallas, Texas, and that woman at
killed
her
it, didn't she?
age, first of all, her vocals were on point. She was hitting all of those high notes, and she was dropping it like it was hot.
Ooh.
It was amazing.
Ooh.
So we really lost a legend.
I wish I got to meet her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't stop there though. We had another death.
Dang.
You do that one. I can't bear it.
Our other death.
Can you say it? Andre Harrell, founder of Uptown Records. So, just in case you don't know who he is.
Andre Harrell, aka Diddy's main accomplice to who Diddy is. Puff Daddy. I'm talking about Puffy when he was skinny, was just dancing in the background. Puffy Andre took him under his wing and showed him the game.
Yep.
And without Andre Harrell, we don't have a lot of what hip hop is.
Yeah.
And a lot of executives got put in place because of him.
Yep.
A lot of artists were broken because of him. A lot of record producing places were made because of him. And to watch him disappear, my brother's a producer. I say disappear because it's like he's not in this plane, but I still feel the love of him out here. Absolutely. Still, you know. But
his movie, they got a chance to finish taping his movie. I can't wait. Yeah, they did finish the movie before he passed. So let me just break it down. From those of you that do not understand Uptown and what this man did for music, if you think about Puffy, Andre, if you think about Mary J. Blige, Jodeci, Christopher Williams, Heavy D and the Boys,
the list goes on. Yeah.
I mean, this was all Andre. Father MC.
Man.
Yeah, I mean, and he's responsible for so much more, but they all passed in the same month, and it was just like back to back to back.
That's a lot of those are big hits back to back.
Amazing man, culture. And he gave so much to the culture, and he was a trendsetter.
Oh my God!
You know what I'm saying? I love the style, I love the glasses, everything he
always had
represented.
those glasses. They were so circular.
Right, circular. But I never saw that prior to seeing him. You know, in my generation, maybe it's come out before, but for our generation, he was the first that showed that. So we had a lot of deaths in May. Then tell us about the whole DJ thing.
Death of DJs online. Shout out to lame Mark Zuckerberg, who got pressured. He was in a courtroom and they pressured him about the music on this platform being live streamed. And he basically said that Facebook and IG are not meant for businesses to grow and do their thing. It's meant for families to come together primarily and for people to reconnect. And what brings people together closer than music? And what do? You kick all the DJs offline. You shadow ban us all. And D-Nice was the only one that made it through. Probably who you know, not what you know. And sadly, everyone just kind of went into a haze of mundane mediocrity. So
let's talk about this. Due to this shutdown from Cora, however you want to say it, a lot of DJs, club promoters, club owners, how have you guys been able to survive this?
Honestly, it's just wherever the gray area is, that's opportunity.
Okay.
That's the best way to describe it.
Okay.
So if there's a rule and there's a gray area, you got to exist in that gray area. And up until you find out if it's right or wrong, ask for forgiveness, not permission. And that's pretty much how it's been running. Because I watch the clubs open and I watch them tell not to go past 11. Then some clubs go to 2 a.m.
Right.
Because it's gray area and it's like, oh, you said don't serve alcohol, so we're just going to stay open. You just didn't serve any more alcohol.
Right.
You know, or COVID goes to bed at 11, so we can kick it.
Right.
People come up with any kind of gray area. But honestly, the online thing was the biggest letdown because you can stream a video game. That's copywritten, but you can't stream music. And that doesn't make sense.
And then here's the thing about it. I thought that it was interesting because even though you guys weren't able to do parties, you guys were able to get online, stream, and that kind of got your views and stuff up, which opened up opportunities for sponsorships and partnerships and things like that. So that was an interesting situation, but that is the month of May.
That is the month of May.
And
a little bit of June, too.
A little bit of June, so May brings flowers.
I don't know what June brings. Heat.
All right, so May was a little bit rough, and then we go into the month of June. So we talked about the riots that happened all over the world. And then there was the protest, which led to the largest civil rights movement ever in history. This was from national all the way to
man, just encompassed the whole world. And I'm sure there were aliens protesting too. We encompassed the galaxy.
I believe that even the galaxies were a part of this. There was arrest made. There was arrest made.
Yeah.
Eventually.
I don't even want to call them just criminals. The police criminals that did what they did to George, they were arrested. Well, the one guy, the other three that were sitting there behind the car, they were still sitting around scot-free for a little while longer, and then they got brought in and indicted. But yeah, we were happy for them to be arrested, but the outcome
is they all got out. And that's just another situation. And then, hey, we are paying for their protection. So that's
the positive side, though.
Yeah.
On the flip of this, the art that came about on all of the streets. I mean, we had 7th Street here that was covered in beautiful murals of George Floyd, Kobe, like everybody. I've seen Betty Bryant on there.
Art that I saw.
Oh my gosh. Up until you had some people who felt away and felt like covering up the art. But that just shows you what America's been on. They've been on, hey, if it's black, we want to cover it up because we don't want to show that side. I don't know why. I have no idea what the U.S. is on because U.S. stands for us and we helped build this, so we should be represented equally.
Gotcha.
And equitably.
The Black Lives Matter street was named. That was something amazing. One thing that I can say that came from the protests and all of that was that I feel like for the first time, not the first time in history, but this was in my generation when we really, really understood the power of unifying.
Oh my
you know,
gosh,
to see so many people. I mean, like I said, this thing was from national to international, all over the world, just protesting, standing in solidarity. I thought that was like amazing. That was a big deal.
That was the most beautiful part of it all, was seeing everyone come together, seeing Amish people protest, seeing people in the middle of Italy, in Morocco, Monaco. Monaco, a place that has a lot of money and a lot of wealthy people of not color protest against this. And it made me think to myself, okay, if other countries can see it, why cannot the U.S.?
Yeah. I agree. So, like I said, there is power in unity and there's always power in numbers. So this is just one of those things.
It is.
So, I mean, that's all I got.
That's all you got for June. Me
but
too. June was all protests and all riots.
In July.
Here comes July.
July.
Good
July
old
was
4th of July.
But it was deeper than that. July
Hold on.
brought
Let me rewind. Let me bring it back. Hold on.
What?
Wait, before we get there.
What?
Because July 4th is supposed to be the U.S. Day of Emancipation.
Oh yeah.
But we didn't care because everyone that was black was celebrating Juneteenth because we were protesting against what happened to George Floyd.
That's true.
So shout out to Juneteenth and everybody who got to learn about Juneteenth, everybody who got to celebrate Juneteenth from the house safely. And even if you were amongst people, you made sure you played it safe, wore your mask, you protested.
Right, definitely.
Juneteenth was not so much a celebration, but we were black and we were together on Juneteenth for the first time in my lifetime.
Yeah.
Where I felt everyone together.
That was amazing.
And so I know that 4th of July was not the same as it had been in years.
It wasn't the same. It was definitely different.
So let's roll into July then, yeah?
Entanglement, I think.
Oh yeah, that's...
The entanglement. Okay, so Jada Pinkett, who is like one of my favorite actresses. I just absolutely love Jada. Maybe one day I will meet her. Right. She has the wonderful show Red Table Talk. And Jada brought to us this word called entanglement.
Entanglement, like a nap. Oh my God.
You are so silly. So what ended up happening is singer-songwriter August Alsina. Did I pronounce that correctly?
I think that's
right. Make sure I get his name right.
August Alsina.
Came out and talked about a love affair that he had with Jada Pinkett and that he left feeling hurt and depressed and broken and things like that. And it brought us to this. Who's right? Who's wrong? Everybody, you had some people saying that it was for his mental health and for his freeing of his spirit, for him to be able to talk about what happened between him and Jada. And then some people were like, hey, I don't want to, he shouldn't have kissed and told. Like, that's something, she's a married woman. He should have kept it under wraps.
There's rules for either side. There's people who are like super good at being players. There's super, there's a game. And if you know the rules of the game, then, and you adhere to them, nobody has anything to say.
Right.
But when you're in the game itself, and when you're in the game, there's no rules.
Right.
Then everyone starts to have an opinion of how you broke said rules. When you're the person broken, you just feel like you're owed. And when you're the person doing the breaking, you sit back and say it's an entanglement.
It's an entanglement.
Because she sat back and did this.
She did. That's
and she
my
said,
girl.
It was an entanglement.
And Will was like, Jada.
He hit her with the, it was hard to watch, to be honest. As someone who wanted to see a strong couple make it through without any drama, and you kind of look to them as a.
I don't think
he's raising his kids pretty good.
I don't think that's fair to do. That's not a fair assessment.
I know it's not,
because
but
nothing is perfect.
It's not fair when you're a celebrity either.
Right?
You didn't ask for that position. You kind of got it, and then in that position, okay, let's trade this whole thing around. Trump got a position, and we wanted him to uphold it at a certain way, and he has made it look like a donkey could run the government, right? So if he's made it
to some people may disagree.
Outside our country, and I got family in England, and they look to our country and say, what the fuck is going on? How could you elect someone like this to run the country, and y'all are supposed to be the leaders of the new free world? And yet nothing is being freed, nothing is being new, and nothing looks led.
Right.
Except for what's being put into black people. And that is the only thing I've seen happen this entire year. Police killing us, white people acting like it's okay, Karens calling police on black people, and then a bunch of things being put in the names of the people who died, but not actual justice for the deaths of those people. It's America in a nutshell.
There is justice.
At least when we had Barack,
is justice.
It felt a little bit better.
It was actually still the same.
It was
because we did. No, not saying, and that's not shade on President Obama. When I say it was still the same, there was still police killings and things like that. That happened.
He said he wished that he. I watched the Breakfast Club interview of him that happened I guess it happened not too long ago. But he said he wished he would have said something.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people were wanting, him to say, more than what he could. It was just an interesting situation because as a black person, you're looking at something that we never thought that we would see. Honestly, if we're going to keep
we were done with
100, but
years of learning black history.
I know, but we saw a black president who was qualified for the job, and he handled it so eloquently. And
best word I could think of.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh my gosh.
And we wanted to be like, oh, that's our president, but we also had to take in consideration he's not just a black president; he's everybody's president. So that was what it was.
I wish we could have a black president, and they have to figure out how to get us back to unity instead of just one president. I mean.
Yep, and
then you give somebody vice.
Was a fifth, then we would all be drunk. Shout out to Crown Royal.
Shout out Crown Royal.
Shout out to Crown Royal.
I think I need a refill.
And so also some things that happened in July was the Twitter hack.
Oh.
So let me tell you, the individual that did the Twitter hack, which I'm sure he'll end up working for the U.S. government. Most of them do.
Almost made the peach come out my nose.
I'm sorry. I'm not trying to do that. But he was able to hack into Bill Gates, President Obama, Joe Biden.
And you know what's crazy?
Yeah.
Who do you think got him? Because Bill Gates gets a lot of hacky people too. So you can find those security patches, and the FBI and CIA hacky
Now listen, now you're getting too deep. I want
my
to keep my show.
God, my bad. Let me reel it in.
Reel it in. And
all my conspiracies, put them back in my bum.
Yeah, and do the I pose no threat smile.
Shout out to Crown Royal Peach.
Thank you so much. We're tweaking. So.
Yeah, the Twitter hack. I'm a computer nerd.
Yeah, you are.
I am. I definitely am.
You are.
And I enjoyed knowing somebody got through like that because they make it seem impenetrable. But with that being said, we know that somebody who's that smart has to get a job.
No, he will get a job. I'm telling you where he's gonna be employed. He's working for us right now.
Hacking all sorts of stuff.
In a cozy prison cell. With computers and a
paid.
Warm blanket.
He's getting paid.
I'm just saying. We had some deaths. I mean, I just...
God. 2020 was filled with them.
2020 was full of... God, I've been drinking. Let me get this vocabulary. 2020 was full of deaths. I got that right.
The Grim Reaper was busy in 2020.
So, Naya.
Oh, I knew you were gonna say Naya.
Oh God,
God.
that was so sad. But here's the thing: there is no limit to what a mother's love will do. We don't know exactly what happened, but what we do know is that she saved her son before she saved herself. And she was an amazing woman. I have been watching her since she was a child, which I was a child, but I followed her. I love that episode she did on Family Matters. But it was just a very unfortunate situation. Prayers out to the family.
Oh
it was really, really rough.
That story was hard to even read. Find out the son was just sitting there.
And he was on the boat. But you know what? The power of God is that for that baby to be on the boat by himself, we don't know how long he was in that boat, and for him to be untouched, he was just protected.
Yeah.
That was
her
just
spirit
grace.
must have saved him the whole time.
Yeah, the whole time. And I believe in that.
Oof.
So
R.I.P. Denia.
Yeah, and you know what I have taken with me when I deal with death, especially when it's close to me, I understand that they're not here in the physical form, but the spiritual world. And that just means that they're looking after me.
It's the love.
And it's the love and the protection that you get. So that was that. Unfortunately, John Lewis and C.V. Vivian, they were civil rights leaders. They passed away in July. So July was
another sad month.
And here's the thing. Cora never stopped coming. More cases piled up, and more deaths piled up. And people didn't know what was going on. People didn't know whether to wear the mask, don't wear the mask.
They were talking about that random gravesite in New York on the news where they had all these like unmarked deaths of people who died from corona. They're just burying them. But I didn't know anybody that had somebody buried there, so I couldn't confirm or deny it because it was all over the news, but we don't know anybody.
We don't know anybody. And I'm going to tell you what was interesting is that when this first hit, they weren't even picking up the bodies because they didn't understand what this thing was. So you have families that were actually in the same house with a decomposing corpse. Yeah, it was just crazy. This whole
I got PTSD for that.
Yeah, it's just been interesting. But on to August we go.
Let's go to August where things should get better.
Or should get worse, hell.
That's true. God.
Cut, please. Okay, so in August, something came out by Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion, and it caused a craze, and everybody flipped the hell out, and it was a big topic. And the name of the song was...
Are you gonna say it?
No, I can't say it.
I'll say it because I love it. Wet Ass Pussy. It was called Wet Ass Pussy, and it was called Wet Ass Pussy. Whack, 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 whack. And I was not against it at all. Soon as I heard there's some hoes in this house,
yes,
I knew that every house had hoes in it.
Here's the thing. This is what's interesting.
Sounds bad, but there's people who feel like once they hear that part, it's like, oh, I'm that hoe, and it goes up. I did a party in which I played it, and they went crazy.
You know
Guys
what?
and girls.
It's sexual expression, and I think a person should be able to express whatever they feel. And so, men have been doing it for years. They've had very provocative lyrics and very provocative videos.
69 Boys.
Yeah. It's been going on for a long time. Remember when it used to be, BET used to have...
Uncut? Oh my gosh, that was the best years of life. You get you some comic view, laugh your ass off, and then watch some ass shake. It was the best. Tip drill video.
Do you talk about that when he took that
the card? Oh my
no one
gosh.
can ever
Did you
get
take
over
credit?
that card.
Oh man, that was the best moment of that video. And then P Poppin' by Ludacris. Those were hits.
Oh
on there
yeah,
for
that
me.
was like the club anthems.
Yeah.
But I mean that happened.
And then low budget videos.
Low budget
Extra
videos.
low budget videos.
The WAP though, the production of the video, as far it
Oh,
looked
it was amazing. Yeah.
It was amazing.
Shout out Cardi. She brought a lot of new female artists on there to be showcased, like in the scenes. They didn't rap or anything, but they were in the actual shots.
Yeah.
Like Ruby Rose, Mulatto.
I think
I think she changed her name too.
I don't want to
Queen
give her
Naija.
name.
Queen Naija was in it.
No, I think her name was Shikana with the good.
Pussy.
Yeah. This is my opinion with everything. I think that people should allow people to be themselves and who they are.
True.
If they want to be provocative, that's their business. Let them be
business.
provocative. If you want to be conservative, then you be conservative. And so I just think that people should mind their business and let people do them. You know what I'm saying? As long as it's not coming on your doorstep and affecting you, then you know.
No pun intended.
No pun intended. So we're moving on. So with this whole thing, with this whole chorus shutdown, a lot of celebrities have had to find other means to make money because the production studios have been shut down.
Oh.
So what did they go to? Fans only.
OnlyFans.
OnlyFans.
I think it's a site, OnlyFans, in which
in
which you can see your favorite person
doing your favorite thing,
doing some things that'll make you say yes, sir, and you know you can pay a monthly subscription if you'd like.
You pay a monthly subscription.
They have sites in which people are leaking this stuff though.
They do have sites which people are leaking, but the interesting thing about it is that a lot of actors and comedians and entertainers. So it's not just that site. Used to be kind of like more maybe like porn stars.
It was
other
Pornhub
things.
for the local person.
For the local person. But now there are other people, like you even have influencers that are on there. You even have like gossip columnists that are on there, and people are paying for subscriptions.
The key is people make content on Instagram, and it's high-end quality content.
Right.
But it's just out for free. And then Instagram gets to use it however they want.
That's
and give it away to this person, that person, whatever. You get on OnlyFans, you get paid for it. And how many women you know that are models, Instagram models, that want to be paid for their work?
That is true.
So I applaud OnlyFans. I almost joined the DJ, but that was only because Mark Zuckerberg kicked us off. Shout out to Twitch, because Twitch definitely gave us the door and the window.
And how do they follow you on Twitch?
Go to twitch.tv/DJ Nick Hud, and I DJ on there almost every night.
It's free.
I honestly love it. It's free. You can interact. You can drop bombs on it. Like you can do my Nick Hud radio drop on there. It's so amazing.
Yeah.
It's super dope.
That's
Twitch
dope.
is amazing. They're all about love. So shout out to them.
Shout out to them. Also, what else happened? More wildflowers.
Fires. Flowers were in May. August is fire.
This is the problem right here. Say it again.
Wild fire.
Wild fires. So from California to Washington State.
All the coast.
All of the coast, and thousands of people were displaced. It was a lot that happened, and unfortunately, that kind of happens in California. Is it almost every year?
It's like the wildfire in August. It's a seasonal thing.
Yeah.
It's just getting out of hand more and more now.
It is. And then President Donald Trump tested positive for the coronavirus. Why are you laughing?
He was cured in 2 days. And we all got 14 days of quarantine. He's supposed to still be behind them doors.
Let me tell you, after 2 days, he came out and did a whole press conference.
I'm cured.
Take your mask off.
But his homeboys were fighting on ventilators.
Well, I don't know. But, he did a tweet. And he said that we'll all get through this together.
I think you had it right. The twit did a tweet.
Tweet. I'm going to call him the king of Twitter because he will.
Yeah, he'll definitely tweet something and it be false.
This is what I will say about Donald Trump. He is the king of petty. And when I say the king of petty, President Donald Trump will reply to you. You can at him and he will at you back. Anybody can get it. Am I lying?
You're not lying.
That's one thing
He will come
I
for
can
you
say. Yes.
No matter which way you tweet.
He is.
Your favorite artists don't tweet you, but this man will.
He will.
You could be as simple as saying, "Hey, comb your hair the other way," and he'll come back at you like. He'll just do something like this and said, "Hey, I held a mirror up." I'm like, what? Bro, you suck.
He will come back at you. You just do not like Trump.
I don't like him much. I'm sorry.
So,
him or Tom Cotton.
Moving on. Oh my God, they're gonna take. Listen, it's all him.
I am a nice person.
Me.
I'm just too smart to allow
I am
them
a
to
hardworking woman that's just trying to get something off the ground for myself.
I love everything but people who make selfish decisions.
That part. Unfortunately, rest in love for Chadwick Boseman.
Oh, Black Panther. God.
Let me tell you, so I can tell you exactly where I was. I had just got out the shower and my phone was blowing up. I go and I look and I see all of this rest in peace. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Our Black Panther? Are you kidding me?
That just shows you how strong he really is and was as the symbol of Black Panther, and then for him to not have told anybody of this, he didn't succumb to everybody saying you're getting skinny. He didn't do any of that. He, matter of fact, that last movie I watched of him when he was slimmed down, man, it was amazing.
Are you talking about the joint that he did with Spike Lee? That was a really that was a good movie. That was like, I love Spike Lee so much.
He's a great actor, yo.
He was a great actor. He was an amazing man, and he lived the life that he just lived it. You know what I'm saying?
That's so much strength in the moment.
In the moment. Can you imagine going through chemotherapy and everything and still working, and then you get people that ridiculed him? That's why you should just keep your mouth off of, you know what I'm saying? They ridiculed his appearance, and he was going through cancer.
I wonder if those people who say such mean comments ever feel like remorse afterwards. Like, oh my gosh, I should have never said anything. Maybe or no?
You know what? For some, yeah, and then for some, nah.
I personally feel like anybody who said anything bad about Chadwick Boseman deserves
it was crazy.
Deserves gangrene in their toe.
Yeah.
I can't think of nothing too bad. I don't want to be too harsh.
That is mean.
That is. Cold toes, no gangrene, no frostbitten toes. But still, you should be cold. Because that's cold-blooded for you to say such harsh things about somebody with cancer. Just saying.
And then that leads us to, as we approach the fall, September. Rest in peace to our Supreme Court Justice. You gotta do this one. I can't do it. With
Supreme Court Justice, former Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who died in September. Her shoes are a big one to fill. They filled it quickly, and I don't know why they took such a short time.
Well, I knew they were going to take a short time, but I will say she was the second woman to serve Supreme Court Justice. Wow. Yeah, amazing woman. She did a lot of great work in the seat while she held it. So,
man, she was the moral compass to the U.S., honestly.
Yeah.
She really was.
Honestly. And so we definitely give her a rest in love. Also for me, this next one is very, it's just
personal, right?
It's very personal. So I have to definitely give a rest in love to my dear friend, sister, April Mills. April was a singer, songwriter, rapper. She was just amazing, dancer. April Mills, known as Exotic or known as Nina James, passed away in September 2020. And she was one of the first to do a lot of things outside of Lauryn Hill. She sang and rapped on her tracks. So she was always ahead of her time. The things that are being done now, she was doing it like 12 years ago.
Right.
So she definitely will be missed, gone but definitely not forgotten.
Never forgotten.
Gone but not forgotten. Rest in peace. September was just a very interesting month. And then but you know what? It was kind of like a chill month.
True.
It's like for a minute we didn't really hear a
Didn't
lot
have too
going
much
on
of
in
anything.
the world. Yeah.
Nothing. The amplitude wasn't that bad. Like
It
it wasn't a
wasn't that
great
bad.
success or a tremendous drop.
Yeah, it was just kind of in between. And then we have the month of October, Halloween.
Halloween.
Oh, the kids couldn't trick or treat this year.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that.
I forgot about that.
Oh my
there
gosh,
was
yeah.
no trick or treating.
No trick or treating. No. Well, there were Halloween parties, but they were under the radar. I DJ'd one. It was a fun house party. We tested everyone, and it was pretty cool. It went really well. But other than that, I'm pretty sure the other ones that did large numbers.
Yeah.
Super spreader alert! Super spreader alert!
You are so silly.
Just being honest here.
It was different. This was the first year that, trick or treating has never been a big deal to me, but for a lot of children it is, and this was the first year that they were not able to go trick or treating.
Ooh,
So
also, we couldn't have any homecomings.
oh my God.
So there were no homecomings to attend.
There were no, and if you went to a black HBCU
my
myself, homecoming is every freaking thing. It's the place where you come out, you see your classmates, you go to the game, the tailgating.
The tailgating is all you do.
the strutting and the stepping from the sororities and the fraternities.
Oh my gosh.
Seeing all of your old teachers, staff. It means a lot, and there was no homecoming, and even for the high schools, you know what I'm saying?
I used to love North Little Rock High School homecoming. We had 2,000, 3,000 kids show up, and they would just be with it the whole way through. It was my favorite homecoming. I love UAPB homecoming and UCA. But it's something about them
Philander
kids.
Smith College.
Oh
that's my alma
Philander's
mater,
homecoming
so.
is also amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I love the homecoming season, but this year, not one little teens. And I go to Pine Bluff just get my Aisha's chicken. I didn't get no Aisha's chicken.
Man, yeah.
I didn't get to kick it with nobody. Oh my gosh, my heart, yo.
You know what? It's like I said, 2020 will definitely go into history as one of those years. Also in October, we lost Sean Connery.
Oh, 007.
We
James
lost.
Bond.
You got to say it right.
Oh,
Bond.
James
Bond.
You
know what? I'm gonna start saying that for like my name, Thomas. Tamara. Thomas.
That'd be dope.
Try it. Say what's your name.
Hudson. Nicholas Hudson.
It does
It does
something.
feel good,
It
doesn't
does
it?
feel good.
Now I need a
Yeah.
martini shaken, not stirred. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that part.
I'm gonna miss Sean Connery. I have the whole collection of 007. Honestly, he's like the most debonair person I saw up until they changed who he was, and it became Pierce Brosnan or somebody else in between. But Pierce Brosnan, and then my boy who's doing it now, Daniel Craig. And I hope they bring somebody black.
Well, you know what? There was talks about
Idris,
which I feel like if there's, and let's just take color out. Let's just say
Bond in his general
itself
name
is him, and I think that he definitely needs the opportunity to play that because I cannot see anybody else that could fit that.
You know what the issue is? When you're Bond, you can't do any other film.
Right.
And that, I don't know if they can pay him enough.
Yeah.
Idris might be out of the pocket. Daniel Craig, they found him sleeping on the bench and made him Bond. And he's feeling the woes of it now, but honestly, playing James Bond is not a short order. You really have to dedicate being Bond for the whole time you're Bond. And no matter how many episodes you do, or not episodes, I call it episodes, but movies, you can do 4 of them and it takes a 10-year window. 10 years you can't do another film. That's how strict it is to be Bond.
I mean, it's a big deal.
But Sean Connery put out like 10 a day. It seemed like he was doing it like TV shows.
He was doing it like TV shows. He did an amazing job.
R.I.P. to
Amazing actor, and he definitely will be missed. Also in October, the hot boxing.
Oh,
with my man, Mike
good old
Tyson.
Iron Mike.
Iron Mike.
I love hot boxing,
Yeah.
both versions, pun intended. And honestly, Mike Tyson checking Boosie was necessary for the culture because sometimes people have to learn. You're speaking on things that you shouldn't have an opinion on. And I really feel like America feels like they can put their opinion on anything. And in that moment, Mike Tyson made it clear that you're not somebody worth giving that type of advice to this person on, considering you're not even friends with them. You're not in the family circle. You're not somebody that is there. You're not even the godfather. You're not. You're nobody in their vicinity. Why do you wish your opinion to be so vocal and loud and boisterous? You know? And once Mike Tyson said what he said, Boosie recanted all of that. He was like, you're right. My mama tell me I need to shut the fuck up sometimes. And when he said that, I was like, bruh.
I think it was a good moment for two men able to sit down and talk about their different opinions, you know?
That's true.
Yeah.
But when you're in front of Mike, though, you know, like, he's the Zen guru and the beat your ass guru, you know?
Yeah, I know.
So he's zenned out and he'll beat you down, you know? And he might not even beat you down with his fist, but you know he's capable of it.
Yeah.
And being, you know, when somebody, their fists are more dangerous than a bullet, you gonna sit down. I applaud it. Anybody can recant any statement to Mike Tyson, because Mike Tyson gonna shake you up.
But I think also, because I think Mike gets the bad rap of just being just this vicious person. I think he's an amazing man. And I think for everything that he's accomplished, it's also like a level of respect
you
that
know about
people
his
have.
resort, right?
No, I did not.
Oh my gosh, he has a cannabis resort. Yes, where you can partake in many of the strains. It's all, you know, you stay on the place. There's a big festival. Yeah, he did that last year, I think, and so they're gonna try to figure out a way to do it COVID style, you know, with social distancing and all the rules. But yeah, he has a great like hidden little ranch spot.
Oh wow.
That is the cannabis headquarters kind of vibe. It's pretty dope.
Well,
Yeah, we'll have to go.
maybe he'll give us an invite.
Come on, Mike.
Maybe.
We love hotboxing.
I cannot. Moving on to the month of November. So November started off with a big bang all over the world. There were long lines. People stood in line for hours just to get to that poll and cast their vote on who would be the next president.
That was an amazing experience.
The people spoke, and
you know what was crazy to me?
What?
Is that I waited to the last minute and it was in and out.
Oh,
Everybody
yeah,
voted early and it was
vote.
a long line. I waited till the last, it wasn't the last minute, it was just the day of, like around lunch. And it was me and like 9 other people in there. We're like, well, this is pretty easy.
Well, that's how it was. Listen, I always early vote. It's my thing. I like to do it. So I went in and early voted. But like I said, the people spoke, and the outcome of what people felt like was President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris.
A black woman.
Yeah, so it goes down in history of her, one, being the first female VP and the first woman of color VP. So double whammy on that.
Double whammy. Shout out to her Jamaican parents. Shout out to the AK sorority because, you know, she's one.
Yeah.
And we love you. Thank you.
That part.
Right.
That part. Next in history, I say history because this made history. We had the Jeezy and Gucci versus battle.
OMG, y'all. Like, if you're a Gucci or Jeezy fan, this moment was that moment. Like Jay-Z, Nas, like Bounty and Beanie, which happened earlier in the year, which is my favorite, to be honest. But this one is very close second place. The whole time you could tell there was beef. I mean,
we're talking about a 15
the DJs were beefing.
Beef. Yeah.
The music they played before the thing started was about beef.
Yeah.
The diss words to each other as DJs was beef. And then you had the two kings come out, Gucci and Jeezy.
Definitely.
And Gucci was with all of the beef shits. I'm not gonna lie. He came out very much on his, you gonna hear what I have to say today. But Jeezy looked like he had been a little bit over all of that and wanted to have a real conversation.
You think he meditated before?
I'm pretty sure he did.
Yeah.
Meditation is key, y'all. Like, honestly, you can meditate the whole thing through. And you can tell it was meditated because as soon as he played that Pine Box song, Gucci, I don't even want to say the words because I don't really like that song at all. But as soon as he said it and then had all those words to say after, ooh, I was like, oh, Jeezy, don't fall for the trap. And what happened instead? Jeezy set a trap. Said, yo, King Von, Mo 3, they doing what we were doing. And one thing for sure, and two things for sure, And the DJ, shout out DJ Ace, dropped that I'm the realest nigga in it, and you already know. I was like, oh my gosh. Talk about changing the energy around. He turned all of that animosity and turned it into just saying, yo, I'm the realest. And then by the time it got to the end, after Gucci felt Lil Bro, clearly he felt Lil Bro, talking about $10,000 outfits, look at my opponent. Good line, but still. The end of it, Jeezy said, we can do this song one last time, or we can just never do it ever again. And the way Gucci's face lit up, oh, how many teeth we have, all of them was showing in his mouth. And you know, he got them nice veneers. So, he showed the whole grill. He was he looked like a little boy that just walked into Toys R Us back in the day. Like, eyes lit up. They performed Icy, and from that point forward, I knew that, you know, the beef was over.
I'm gonna say this though. I was happy that they were able to just like squash the beef. Both of the men are like talented kings, and they have contributed so much to the culture, so much to hip hop. I love both of their music, and here's the thing. Today, as of today, both of them are still relevant. You know what I'm saying? And they've been in the game for like almost 20 years now.
Right.
So I was really, really happy to
Shout
see
out
that.
Gucci, because you know, Gucci could have fell off a lot of times.
But you know what? Let me say this. What I really respect about Gucci is a lot of people go to jail and sometimes they don't bounce back. And through everything that he experienced in his life, he was able to come back. And when he came back, he went to jail on a high note. Yeah. He had a song with Mariah. Like, I mean, he went to jail on a high note, and then when he came back out, he just hit the ground running, and he was on a high note.
Man, he was on an even higher note. He was so much on a high note, like, not even a pun intended with Mariah's octave, but they thought that he was a clone. That's that highest octave for somebody to think you're not you anymore. They didn't think
that he wasn't even him anymore.
He was like, yo, they think I'm a clone? Oh, wow. That means I've really changed. Yeah. And to change like that and people accept you.
And married the woman that stood by him while he was locked up. I respect
Shout out
that.
Keisha. Yeah. Kaori, or no, I guess whatever Gucci's last name.
Kaor.
Oh, Kaor? Yeah. It's not Kaori?
What?
It has an E at the end. Kaor. It might be Kaor.
You're amazing, sis.
We love you because you held it down.
Yeah, you did.
Shout out to Gucci for even rapping about you on Computer Love. I definitely know that was him talking about you.
Absolutely.
And my favorite song came from scratch. Shout out to you for doing that, Gucci, because that song is amazing. We all come from scratch. So to you, Gucci, we salute. To you, Jeezy, we salute.
We salute. And I have to say this real quick before we close on that. I love Put On for my city. And the reason why is at the end of the day, we go hard, but we love where we are from. And I have this love relationship with California because that's where I was born and raised. And then I have this love relationship with Arkansas because that's where my mom is from. And I have roots there. So it's like, even with everything that I do, I go hard because I want to put on and I want to make the world proud, but more importantly, I want to make California proud and I want to make Arkansas proud.
I feel you.
So when I hear Put On for my city, you know, I just go hard, and I also go crazy for scratch as well because we all know what it's like to start from scratch. Then sometimes you have a plan, shit don't work, and then you gotta scratch that and then go back to it. So
scratch the whole thing.
Both of them have amazing music, and so
on levels, you know, I love it.
That part.
From shirt off to scratch.
To scratch. Unfortunately, something that Jeezy spoke about during the verse battle, rest in peace to Mo3 and King Von. I'm so tired of seeing our young black male millionaires just end up dead on the pavement.
I think that
there has to be a better way.
I think they see music as the 90s saw cocaine. And it's like an opportunity to reach success. And people have that notion, something stolen will hold you back. But that's why you have to live by that saying, you know, whatever's stolen will never stifle your success. So don't let something make you feel a way that you didn't even feel a way about from the first place. It's usually the people around you that make you feel that way.
And you know what? This is the thing. There's enough money out here for all of us. McDonald's doesn't close for Burger King. KFC doesn't close for Popeyes. You know what I'm saying? Or Wendy's. So the thing about it is just find your lane, find that thing that you do differently, and do that and not worry about the next person. But
you don't see Taco Bell mad at Taco Bueno.
Yeah. our Mexican Chiquita.
Right.
Did I pronounce that correctly?
Yeah, I think so.
That
I haven't
part.
been there in so long.
Yeah.
Any Tex-Mex places, Mexican people in Tex-Mex places don't even have beef.
But no, really, shout out to those brothers. Shout out to their families. When I say shout out, I'm not saying like shout out. I'm just saying shout out. I'm sending love and I'm sending prayer your way because I know that you lost a dear family member.
Big time.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and then even to fast recovery for Boosie, who was shot in
Dallas.
So
over some Mo3 comments that he made.
The thing about it, I just want it all to stop. I just want us to come together and make money and be great and take care of our families and our communities.
Like Jay-Z said, too much enemy fire to be catching a friendly. We look the same. We don't need to be shooting each other.
We don't need to be shooting each other. We're just gonna have to
lift
figure
each other
something
up.
else out.
Kings.
Listen
to me.
Yeah.
We don't need to do that.
Yeah.
Feel me? There's enough opportunity out here for everyone.
Yeah. So here's another death. Oh God. But I'm gonna say this. Rest in love to legendary Bishop Rance Allen. I'm gonna tell you something. To all of you sinners out there, you just hear one song from him, I know that your soul will be saved. But he was a absolute amazing vocalist, great showmanship, and he is definitely going to be missed. Again, sending love and prayers to the family and friends. But
2020 was full of death.
2020 has been full of death. But you know what? I'm not gonna say that it's been all bad because the thing about it, we had life and death is in the power of the tongue. So we have to watch what we put out. It's been, I like to use the word interesting. It's been a very interesting year.
Good point.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. We don't want to speak on it. We still got a little bit of 2020 to go. So no more death talk for 2020. We're going to try to speak life and love and more blessings and more power into each and one of us. Each and every one of us. Hopefully it infiltrates your spirit and you feel great because 2021 is only like, what? 3 weeks away?
It's like 3 weeks away. But one thing that I hope that everybody has done, this has been 2020 to me has been a year of just molding, sharpening your skills, you know?
The inner you.
So the inner you. So whatever your dream, your goals, I hope that in 2020, while we've had some of this downtime, you've been able to be one with yourself. You've been able to work your plan and
or just find yourself.
Find yourself, because here's the thing. When 2021 comes, it's go time. So whatever you put in place in 2020, get ready to put that plan in motion. Like, it's time to go. So we've done the yearly wrap up from January to November. You're wondering, like, where the hell is December? Well, December's not done yet. But
we're on a weekend,
but you better guarantee it that we are gonna come with our December drop. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. Hey, I'm Tamara Jasmine. You can follow me on social media, Facebook, Tamara Thomas, and Jasmine Soiree. On Instagram, you can follow me under Tamara Jasmine _, or Jasmine Soiree. And for my YouTube page, it's just Jasmine Soiree, JASMINE space SOIREE. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Do you want to leave the people with your information so they can follow
you? Follow me on any major platform as DJ Nick Hud. That's DJNICKHUD. Please follow me on Twitch because that's where all the love is. All your favorite DJs are there. You can follow all of us. We have parties on there all the time. And it has great chat rooms for people to just meet all around the world. I was DJing with a couple people from Power 106 in LA.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, like DJ Sour Milk. He's one of my friends on there. Yeah, he's dope.
Cool. Yeah.
So shout out to everybody that's on Twitch. Follow me on there. And on IG and all other major platforms, DJ Nick Hud.
Hey, follow your dreams. I don't care what nobody tell you. Don't stop. Sometimes you may have to face it alone. Some of the people that you think are going to support you, newsflash, they don't. It's okay. Just keep living your dream. And hey, I thank you guys for tuning in. We will see you soon.
Yeah, real soon.
Yeah, like end of December soon. That part. Peace. That's a wrap.
Hey world, I'm Tamara Jasmine, and
and thanks for tuning in. Do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to like, share, and comment. I want to hear your thoughts. Enjoy the